Off. Good morning, everybody. We want to welcome you to Pulaski County Fiscal Court on this 17th anniversary of the event that struck our nation and brought us together in unity, but also brought the realization together that we're in a world that is full of evil. But we want to remember that today. And today I've asked Andy Maston if he would open us up in the Pledge of Allegiance. Here's Steve.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we begin court, I just want to kind of give you a little bit. We had a service this morning at the SRT building to honor and remember the first responders in our country and what we went through on this day 17 years ago. And I've talked to several people, and I know everybody in here has a story of where you were the morning of that tragedy. And for me, my story is, and it's kind of ironic because growing up as a child here in Pulaski County, we never locked our doors, ever, for any reason. And at that time, I had two children, and my wife and I were seeing a lot of things going on, and there was a heightened awareness about how we need to be more secure. And we actually had called in a local security company that morning to come and do measurements for our house, to put an alarm system in and a security system at our house. And we were waiting for the salesperson to come to our home when that first plane hit, and also we saw that on the TV. And at that time, nobody knew what was going on, and we just assumed it was either a random accident that had happened, or going through my mind was maybe this is a disheartened Wall Street investor that lost a lot of money that decided to commit suicide and cause some damage. A lot of things going through everybody's mind what it could be, but nobody understood. And then as we were glued into that set, we all saw that second plane attack the second tower there. My mind, my soul was emptied, and I just thought, oh my God, we're at war. And my thoughts were, God, are you going to step in here? Are you going to do something? And I think we all just had that collective hush and shock. And we each remember the feeling for that next hour, that next 2 hours, the next 2 weeks of where we were with our country. And it was we were vulnerable, and we were attacked on our soil, an unprecedented attack on civilians, and it just it woke us all up. But if you remember the pride that followed in the next few weeks, the pride of America and the unity of America, that was a feeling that gives us hope that I can't describe, and I know each of you all remember that feeling of unity. There was no politics, no Democrats and Republicans, no black and white, no immigrants and other. It was United States citizens pulling together to protect each other and to protect what we believed in. And it was a great feeling that we all experienced, even though it took a tragedy to bring that feeling. And I told them today in the ceremony, I said, when that happened, we were all shocked and we were all surprised, but God was not surprised by what happened. He knew the events that were going to unfold, and God had already started to prepare in the hearts of the families that were going to experience loss, and he prepared the hearts of the country that was going to feel this shock, and he prepared in the hearts of the first responders how they were going to react to this. And I'm so thankful for our first responders, because what that is, it's a call from God to do what they do. It's a gift that God has given our first responders, much different than most average citizens. When we're under fear for our lives, we have an instinct, and it's self-preservation. And we want to, it's just something we have. We try to take care of ourselves and our immediate loved ones. But first responders are so much different. When fear sets in and panic hits, they're not looking out for themselves or their immediate loved ones. They're looking out for everybody that they can protect within their vicinity. And I'm so thankful that our first responders answered that call that God puts on them in their lives, because without our first responders, we would truly be lost. And so I want to thank, I know we've got some first responders. If you're a first responder or have been a first responder, would you please stand and let us recognize you in this crowd today? Truly an honor to be in the same room with you, and I thank you for your service. And if you don't mind, before we begin our court meeting, I'd like to take a moment of silence to observe and to remember all that happened that day, and all that the people that lost loved ones, and the people that just made sacrifices. If we just take a moment to remember that, please. Thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our previous meeting. You all got a copy of those. What would be your pleasure?
Motion to accept. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next item then is old business. Seeing there's none, we'll move to our new business. We have a couple of things we want to address here. First, I've invited a few special guests, and it's in honor of our court when we get the opportunity to do this. And first guest I'd like to recognize is a gentleman that we all know well. It's a gentleman who has given his life to his profession, and he has set the standard in his profession for integrity and accurate and factual reporting. And without this man, Pulaski County would not be where it is today. And I want to recognize Bill Martis. Now, he is with us today. Bill, if you'd come up, please. Bill has been in his profession now. He told me 60 years that he's been in journalism or reporting. Just come right here. We're going to get a picture with you right here. I'll come over to you. How about that? 60 years, and he's one of the founders and one of the ones that has made our Commonwealth Journal what it is today. Was it always called Commonwealth Journal?
No, it's the Commonwealth before the bird for Somerset.
Yeah.
He said it was the Commonwealth.
Not many people would know that, but this man, not many people would know that the history of our local paper, but Bill does. And Bill has been there very faithfully, and just you've done a wonderful job representing the profession of journalism and reporting. And I just want to say, on behalf of the court, we want to bestow our highest honor upon you this morning. That's the honor of Pulaski County Colonel. Would you like to say anything?
I've enjoyed, and it's been an adventure to watch Somerset and Pulaski County grow. When I came here, there were only 3 businesses between Somerset and Burnside, and so I've seen a lot of changes.
We sure thank you for your loyalty and your faithfulness to Pulaski County and to the profession. Pulaski County Colonel.
Thank you so much.
One more.
Okay, and then I have 2 more I would like to recognize. This lovely couple I've known for a long time. I had the opportunity to grow up with them and be a part of Pulaski County, and I've had the opportunity to go to church with them. We've got children we've watched grow together, and Dwight and Barb Sears are local business owners. But what most people don't recognize about Dwight and Barb Sears is they have done as much or more for the children of Pulaski County, for your children, to help put in them good values, godly values, and encourage them to succeed. And they've done so much with so many things. Right now, I know, I'm just going from what I think is memory here, and I know Dwight serves on God's Food Pantry Board of Directors. I know that Barb has just finished a term with Firebrook Park and making that park a successful thing. I know they're very active in Fellowship of Christian Athletes and have been for years. They are involved in Project 5810, which helps take care of our school children. I know they've got an initiative they do that's Pay It Forward. You all have heard that term, Pay It Forward. They're very involved in that and making that not only a local success, but a regional and a statewide success. So they do so much. And I just wanted to take time to recognize Barb and Dwight. And in addition, they've helped us with some of our projects and to make our courthouse more secure for our citizens. And they just give of themselves, tirelessly. And I just want to say thanks. So come on up here. I'd like to bestow upon you all also the honor of Pulaski County Colonel. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you all for allowing us to do that. We truly enjoy honoring people that make Pulaski County a better place. Next item then, we've got from the Pulaski County Extension Office. Beth, are you going to present, or TJ? If you'd like to come to the podium, please.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is TJ Atkins. I'm a 4-H agent here in Pulaski County with the Cooperative Extension Service. I came today to give our tax rates for 2018. Real property will be 1.546. Personal property will be 1.7992. Motor vehicle and watercraft will be 1.2. Thank you.
Will you just let the minutes reflect that as a special purpose government entity, that they are required by law to come before fiscal court and inform the court of the new tax rates, because those go on the tax bills that are sent out by the clerk. And I know there's always confusion about whether or not this fiscal court endorses those actions, but them presenting what they did today is simply a legal requirement and in no way reflects whether or not the court endorses their actions as an independent body. It's just for the purpose of where they go on the law. They have to present it, and then it goes on the tax bill.
So what can we do as a court to block this increase?
Nothing. You have no authority over this entity. By law, they just have to show up and here's what we did.
Is that a change from last year, or?
Yes, sir. It's basically 400 cents on the $100. So 400, that's what it comes out to be. So roughly, for every $400, they get a penny. That's how it comes out.
I know it's frustrating, and I know lots of times the public doesn't understand it, but they're an independent body, and their board votes to do this, and it goes on. The county just collects it on as a part of the tax bill. If you remember, we went through this a few years ago. There was discussion about not even putting it on a tax bill, but you'd still have to go send out a separate tax bill, and it'd be more money that the clerk's office would be at the expense of doing. So
Same thing we're going to do with the library also.
same
right?
thing, absolutely. There's several special purpose governmental entities that are required by law to
Just
do
come in and
that.
present.
And we just put it in the minutes, and that protects them to show that they did it.
Right, but we don't have to vote on that in
Nope.
any way.
You're not, your vote, you have nothing to vote on.
Right.
And
Thank you.
Can we let the minutes reflect if we're not in favor of this?
Take a vote.
If you wanted to say that personally, I don't see why it couldn't.
Okay.
If anybody want to say that. I think the proper forum to do that in, though, is to show up at their meetings and object there. Because again, this court has no authority over what they do at their meetings.
I'd just like for that to be noted.
And I will say in defense of the extension agency, I know they get funded largely by UK to operate.
We're funded probably 85 to 90% on tax base. But UK does not pay much. Most of the funding for the extension service
But the microphone,
comes from the taxpayers. UK does not give us that much money.
But the money they have cut recently, correct?
Yes, we have absorbed, the Extension Board has absorbed in the past 3 years over $150,000 of new expenses being passed down from the university.
and I would encourage folks, again, even the magistrates here, if you, with these special purpose government entities, if you want to be involved in how they manage their business, then go to the meetings, just like people come to the fiscal court meetings, you know, and voice your thoughts with that board.
So basically, the reason that these taxes are going up is because UK quit giving you X amount of dollars, or,
Just to kind of keep us at the same rate that we've been at. Yes, sir.
okay, so you
I
probably.
mean, this is only our, I believe we figured it up, our fourth tax increase in 25 years.
So you'll need this to keep you floating.
Not to keep us floating, but to keep us on our 5 and 10 year plans.
Okay.
This is something that is needed. Yes, sir.
And TJ, too, one thing, I think we have all been proud that we have been very conservative.
Yes, I mean, if
And
you
we're
look at it right
probably-
now, tax rate wise, out of 7 counties that surround Pulaski County, the average tax rate for personal property is 5.2%. Ours is 1.5. The average property tax, or the average tax on personal property is 9.3. Ours is 1.7. So our board has been very, very conservative. Our board has been very, very diligent in how they've used the tax money, how they've went about this. But, you know, things beyond our control have transpired over the past 3 years with the state budget, the budget cuts at UK, what they've passed down to the county levels and things like that. So, you know, there are, you know, we don't want to do it. You know, everybody on that board, everybody that works at that office is a resident of Pulaski County and pays the same exact amount of taxes as everybody else does. So what we're trying to do is just trying to be able to continue the services to the point that we have at this point to serve the people of Pulaski County, you know, in any way that we possibly can.
When was the last time you had a raise?
I think we figured it up 4 years ago, and that was our first one in 12 years. So, I mean, you know, this is a tax entity that has been in place 70s.
The tax that you're working on now has been in effect since the 70s?
Yes. I mean, we've been a special taxing district since the 70s. And so, I mean, if you think, like I said, in the past 20, 25 years, we took 4 increases.
I mean, I live out the east end of the county, and their water company didn't get a raise for this long amount, and then all of a sudden they had to smack with a big one.
Right.
Okay, and it really, really, really made everybody mad about it.
Well, and, you know, like I said, and the main thing that, you know, that I've always looked at is, you know, the extension service does anything and everything that they can for this
That's right.
community. We reach out and we touch anybody and everybody, from farmers to youth to, you know, FCS, horticulture, things like that. And, you know, we're here to help, and we're here to do anything that we can for anybody in this community. So all they have to do is come and ask. That's what we're here for. We're here to educate and do things like that. The extension service has been very diligent in the way that we've used our tax money. You know, it's no lie that, yes, we're saving to try to build a new building. You know, the building that we've been in was built in 1992. So, you know, we're coming up on almost 30 years old. The population of Pulaski County has changed a lot in 30 years. You know, we have meetings in that building that we have to turn people away because we cannot get them into the meeting room. You know, we've had different things. We've had hunter safeties and things like the hunter safety courses. Well, we've had over 150 kids show up to take hunter safety that we've had to turn kids away because we had no more room for them. So, you know, this is something that, you know, I think this board has done a great job. One, keeping the taxes as low as they have when you look across the board across the state, and the way that they have utilized the tax money and the way that they have saved money. So, I think that, I hate to do it. Like I said, I pay taxes just like everybody else does and everybody on that board does. Nobody wants to raise the taxes, but it's something that was out of our hands. Any other questions? I didn't mean to sit down. I guess I should ask you all if you had questions. I apologize.
You're fine.
Thank
you
you.
very much, okay?
Next then, is not listed on your agenda, but I do have two Firebrook Park Board appointments. We just recently have had a few that have resigned their position on the Firebrook Park Board. And this morning I would like to recommend two names to sit on that park board. The first would be Jonathan Absher, and the second would be Phyllis Pelfrey. So if y'all have any questions about those two, that Lisa Phelps is right now is the chairman of the park board, and she is recommended to bring these two on. They're willing to help and serve, and we've got a big event coming up at Firebrook Park with our Trail of Treats, and they need to get this board replenished. And
Make a motion, bring them on.
Second.
a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Okay. Bring us into our department reports. I've got Adam. You've got a request report.
Good morning. Back in May, we had a position vacated, and I asked the court if it would be okay to fill that position. We have found someone to fill that. It's Shasta Bowling. And I would just like to see if it'd be okay to hire her as a part-time.
Motion to hire.
Have a motion and a second to hire Shasta Bowling part-time. Any further discussion?
When would that begin?
Donita said the 17th she can
Okay.
start on.
At $10 an hour?
Yes, ma'am. And her should be working Monday through Wednesday, and Friday, 11:30 to 6.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Adam. Next thing will be our road department. Jordan, you have anything?
The only thing I have today, Judge, is approval of a road work request.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
You have any idea when Hinkle's gonna start blacktopping for us or anything? Have you talked to him or?
Kevin Houston said October he should start.
Okay.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? Is that all you have? Well, I just want to publicly thank you, Jordan. You and Ryan, we've had some discussions here recently about the work you're doing, and I want to thank you all for what you're doing at our road department. Y'all are going above and beyond your job description, so it's working, and I appreciate your help, and we don't take that for granted.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Jordan. Okay. Bring us in.
Judge, I need to bring up one thing that, with our auction coming up, Stacy, when is that scheduled with the surplus equipment? Well,
It's not that, it's,
one of the changes that need to be
we're gonna
made
put it on Gov Deals.
is we're gonna put, it'll be noted in the minutes, is we have a septic pump system that was used to clean pump septic systems. And it needs to be identified as, on Gov Deals, as the trailer, the pump, and all the mechanisms that go with the entire assembly.
We'd already surplus this piece of equipment, but it wasn't clarified as to if it was just
Yeah, they,
part or the entire
Yeah.
unit thing.
Yeah, because we've put time into assembling it and fabricating things, it's more valuable as a whole than it is in its.
Correct.
yes, sir.
Yes. So do we need to vote that we changed, that we clarified it, or
As long as the minutes reflect it.
just lines minutes? Just check.
So, Joan, you have items for us this morning?
I do. The first item I would have would be the monthly bill list. You should have received that.
Motion. A motion to accept the bill list.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item I have is the monthly bank reconciliation for the month of August.
Motion.
A motion to accept the bank reconciliation.
Second.
In a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And I don't have fund transfers. I thought I would, but I don't at this time. But I do want to say, and I thought she was going to be here today, but we're losing a member of our office staff. Our assistant finance officer, Penny Casson, is going to be leaving us, and she's moving back home to Indiana. And I just want to publicly say she's been here for 13 years, and she will be missed by our office. And I wish her the very best of luck in her next endeavor and adventure in life.
We all do. She's a real nice girl.
But she's going to be a Hoosier, and that's the only, nobody's
She's
perfect.
gonna give you all of her blue when she leaves.
I hope so.
She'll be missed. She's always the one that had her candy dish full too, so you can stop by and we'll miss her. I'm sorry. Yeah, anything else? Joan?
That'll be it. Thank you
All
so
right, I've
much.
got one more announcement to make. We have our Halloween hours to set, and this year Halloween falls on a Wednesday, so we're requesting to set those hours on the 30th this year, from 6 to 9. I guess do we need to vote on those hours? Let's first approve that, then I've got a follow-up announcement, but we'd like to set the hours on the 30th from 6 to 9. We have a motion.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then coupled with that, we are doing a city-county venture partnership this year, and it's something they've been working at for a few years, but we are going to have what's called almost like a block party, and we're going to be closing off the streets of Somerset and opening up a lot of businesses along the streets of Somerset and encouraging them to offer trick-or-treating, a safe environment for our children to come down into our beautiful downtown area and enjoy trick-or-treating. But if you can make it, we'd love to have you. If not, then the county hours from 6 to 9. But anything you want to add to our joint venture name?
Yeah, one of the things will be coming out, and you'll see the advertisement in the papers, is over the last few years, there's been such a flux of activity of trick-or-treaters in and around Main Street and downtown. So we've been planning with the city to make it safer and give different entities, for example, if Silent Guard want to set up a booth to pass out candy, they could come down and set up a booth to pass out candy. And at the courthouse, will be set up outside of the courthouse. As kids, Jones was a really good idea of Jones to sit up outside and pass out candy. And so as kids. can
First
travel
John's hearing about it,
around.
just saying.
But you'll see.
Got that? He said which, but I know,
But a nice witch. See, there's.
thank you.
East or west?
But you'll see advertisements and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for kids and families to come together downtown.
Okay, well, with no further business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion. And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.